Welcome to the Rebel podcast and episode 2 of the cSPACE sessions featuring the amazing people who work, play, and create here at cSPACE King Edward in Calgary, Alberta. This week, Brian Bunny Batista swings by the studio and we get to talking about his art, his studio Atelier Artista, living his passion, inspiring others, and what it means to be what he calls the Mayor McCheese of this incredible place called cSPACE King Edward. Welcome to the Rebel, a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs. Welcome back to the Rebel. This is episode 2 of the cSPACE series, and I'm sitting here in my super posh, wicked studio at cSPACE with Brian Batista.
It is pretty posh. And my friends call me Bunny. It's a long story.
Am I going to get to hear that story today?
You know what? I always say it's a long story, and then I don't tell the story. Uh-huh. But there's a lot of versions of the story.
Oh.
And so I kind of like grade the person in what story they're going to get.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think I've ever given the same story twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of, it's still like it's a mystery to some people. Bunny
it's a mystery to me, dude.
It just sort of happened, hey?
It's magical.
Huh. So just to catch people up, why don't you give us a quick little spiel about who you are and what you do?
So I got a space in cSPACE, and I guess I would say I'm an art teacher of contemporary realism.
Ooh.
My idea being is that I wanted to teach people the skills that would make them confident to create. So, you know, we all want to be this master artist or whatever, and that doesn't mean specifically you can draw a hand really well or something like that, but I feel that it's up to the individual to go out and seek what they need.
Right.
And I didn't learn it through the normal channels.
Okay.
And so I try to create a place or an environment that people could learn to fill the skill in that they needed.
Okay.
But I mean, most art is self-taught, but it's so arrogant to be like, I'm self-taught, because we're all resting on the giants that went before us.
Sure, of course.
So I just want to make like a hub and a place where like people could be a little nerdy and a little serious about trying to learn these skills.
Okay.
You know, rather than I want to do 4 years of art school.
Yeah.
I did it. I don't recommend it, but it's not for everyone. It's not for these little grandmas and stuff. So I made a spot here that I built a spot that I thought was the most beautiful studio for other people, and I named it Atelier Artista, which means the art workshop or studio, atelier, the French word, for the artists. So it's not Brian Batista's place.
Yeah.
That was never my intention. Yeah. I just happened to have the cojones to take a tremendous risk in putting all the money that I had into building this thing.
Wow.
Including building all the furniture.
Yeah, and I love it in there. It's like one of the coolest spaces in here.
I know, I wish I could live in there, but that would be a...
different...
against the law, basically.
It would be against the law.
Probably toxic.
So how long have you been at cSPACE?
I think I was the second tenant to move in, like January 2nd or January 3rd.
Holy moly.
I had a really good friend, Carrie Lynn, and she kind of tipped me off that cSPACE was happening. I mean, I think I kind of knew about cSPACE for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. It was a long time in coming.
It was a long time coming, and I was part of other art organizations. I worked at EM Media, which is a video production society, for 8 years. And there was this a group called Mob, I think, and a lot of the artists run centers. They're trying to get them to move into this space. Yeah. Now that this space is here, like, there's advantages and disadvantages to it. Yeah. But she kind of just said, well, why don't you try? And originally I was going to get a studio like this.
Okay.
And, just be an artist. And I had agreed to that. I think I had even signed some paperwork. Yeah. And that night I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning and had these nightmares. My vision grew. And at first it was like, I'm going to get a space for me.
Yeah. Which
I had before in Cannery Row building. And then I realized that I should make a space for others. I think I'm the only single person in a big room.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. Like, everything else is a society or...
Yeah.
I think... And at first, there was this guy, Reed, and they were like, what the hell is an atelier?
Right.
And I had to come up with a plan and explain to them what I wanted to do. And there was a lot of shifting at the time of who was going to be where. Yeah. And I said, I only have 2 conditions. North-facing windows and the blackboards. And that was pretty much... I was supposed to be on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
They wanted me to be this like high traffic person. It's good that it's a little bit quieter for my students.
Yeah.
Because I do just leave the door open.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have students that are uncomfortable with that, but we don't get a lot of traffic. But originally, they had this idea that I'd be kind of like the poster boy.
Yeah.
And it's nice that I'm not on the second floor because it would be distracting to my students.
Yeah, for sure.
And the other teacher students.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And I mean, I caught some of your stuff online. So you've got this cool YouTube channel where you're putting stuff up there for people. Like I was looking at your art history for comic books.
Oh yeah, the comic book,
which is great.
Yeah. Well, that's for kids too.
Yeah.
I have 2 YouTube channels, and one is for this school.
Yeah.
The school is not just me. This is the thing. Like everyone's like, you're the branding or whatever, but I have phenomenal people teaching out of there.
Yeah.
Like if you want the best art education, I'm plugging myself.
Yeah, do it.
But that's the place to do it.
Yeah, it's cool.
And the people who I attracted through that, like I have so much respect for them. But they don't see me as the boss.
Right.
You know, it's just a space and some furniture.
Yeah.
You know.
So what's the plan currently? Like what does it look like right now with the COVID thing that's happening and class sizes and stuff?
I'm hemorrhaging my own money.
Yeah.
I think, you know, people, I'm kind of getting the, are you going to be there or whatever? And yeah, because my dream, the crazy stuff happens, but my dream has nothing to do with me turning a profit or whatever. Like, right now it's I call it artist residency. I'm using the studio. Yeah. For a while there, I was sleeping in there.
Yeah.
But we're allowed to. I kind of thought it was going to be like the Third Reich out there, but it turns out you can drive and stuff. So, no, I did. I was at the point where I was like, okay, if the government's going to say you have to be at home, I even said to the guys running this place, I'm like, I'm moving in because I would way rather be around my art supplies than my bed.
Crazy.
So I just put a sleeping bag down. Normally, I mean, I don't sleep here now, but normally you can't sleep where your workspace is. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to have all the excuses to why I live in my studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and I want to kind of, part of this show is like how you got to where you're at. And you've got a really interesting history in that, you went to ACAD.
I did.
That
was a long time ago.
But you also are a performer.
Yeah.
You know, and you've built this thing. Like, how you co-founded the Underground Film Festival?
Yeah, Calgary Underground Film Festival.
Which
you know
is
what? That's
rad.
17 years ago. I probably should have had a kid that I could have, like, messed up pretty good. But, you know, at the time, too, I think I had moved to L.A. and realized that Calgary, a wonderful place to actually make stuff happen.
Yeah.
You know, cSPACE is a good example of that.
Sure.
I mean, if we're only in our 3rd year here, like, you got to think in the long term about goals. People are really about fulfilling that need right away.
Yeah.
You know, like, I got to have that piece of that pumpkin spice latte or whatever. But I got a bigger plan over the long term for this city, and which keeps bringing me back here. I'm not from here.
What?
No, I'm not from here at all.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Vancouver Island.
Oh, nice. What part?
Ladysmith.
Oh.
It's not I have to think about that. It's like, do I pick the bigger city? Like, say Nanaimo. I grew up on the oceanfront property, being a little hippie guy. And honestly, and I tried New York and I tried LA, but this is as big as a city as I need.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's kind of like the biggest little city or the littlest big city, right? Like it's kind of the nice thing about Calgary is everybody knows everybody.
It feels that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say to artists, maybe you guys are out there listening too, but it's going to be at least 10 years till we even have competition with one another.
Yeah.
And it's really important that we support each other now.
Absolutely.
Like if someone wants something, they want it realism or they want it like that. It's my job to also pass it on to those who I know. And I don't know enough. Yeah. You know, I don't know enough good artists to pass it all. There's enough work out there. And that's what's great. But it's just like ACAD. I always called it the Alberta Cottage on the Hill. Because it's like this cute little thing that just happens to exist here.
Yeah.
I remember taking glass blowing. Halifax is the only other place. There's so much opportunity here.
Yeah.
Still. The whole world could be crumbling right now. I don't know. And this might get archived and aliens might listen to it. But don't give up on the potential that's still here for us. Yeah, we're all big fish in a little pond.
Yeah.
The artists that survive are tenacious.
Yeah.
You know? But we're not at each other's necks. It's so stupid to think that we have to fight over the crumbs when we got to take those crumbs and we got to make a pie filling and we got to build something bigger out of it. That's our job.
Yeah.
Not to bitch and complain about what, the art world could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, go die in New York. Sure. You can pay to be in a gallery in New York right now.
Yeah.
Sounds so big and lofty and there's nothing to it, you know? You're still a piece of shit. So... beep that out.
No, we are fine with swears.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's good. So you did some stuff with Quick Draw.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
mouth.
I love Quick Draw. You know what? And I just did my will. I revamp it every year.
Yeah.
Quick Draw is another nonprofit in the city.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yeah.
An animation society like that.
Yeah.
And I was with them for 19 years. I've done everything. I was the president of their board. I taught classes there. I'm still involved with them. And that is just an idea of great people. And the people change. But the idea of this animation, which is the greatest type of art form in the world, because it takes time, it has movement. Like it's better than painting.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't put that out there. But it really is because it has all the things. And, you know, Quick Draw, when I was even part of it, it wasn't cool to be an animator.
Yeah.
But, man, what those guys have done, whoever they are, changing, like, just the idea is beautiful, and it just grows. And it attracts people from elsewhere, too. Yeah. Another Calgary original.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Oh, kicking ass.
Yeah. And they do their festival in here, and, like, they got all their other stuff going on, too, so.
Oh, that's really cool. What happened to you on Vancouver Island that turned you into the artist that you are, and dragged you out here? Maybe it was ACAD, maybe it was something different. And I'm interested in how it is that a human goes from, you know, some kid living somewhere else and deciding to change the world.
Everyone I know that I like is not from here. And that's not to say that Calgary doesn't have those people. Yeah. Because there's wonderful people that I know now from here. Yeah. My shoddy luck of circumstance that happens all the steps of the way did get me here, for sure. I definitely couldn't have survived Emily Carr. I needed to go to art school. I was actually living in an adoptive house, and my mom lived here. Okay. I think my mom let me go at a young age. I was a very free spirit, a free child, and I gravitated back. Although I couldn't live with my parents. Yeah. You know, having left home at like 15 or 16, at like 18 or 19, it's very hard to live at home. I think I lasted like 3 months before I was like in my car, packed it up, and moved somewhere else. God, that would be really funny to do in my 40s. Be like, hey, I'm moving home, Mom.
Hey there.
So... it was more, you know, what's the next step? Yeah. Maybe I would have gone more east, but I decided that this was a big enough city. Yeah. You know, it may have been enough that there was ACAD here. Yeah. I couldn't get into ACAD the first time. So artists out there that you're listening, I failed. They wouldn't accept me. Wow. And by the end of it, I was a valedictorian.
Yeah, 2001,
so,
right?
Fuck you guys. You know, I have to say that art school was great. I would never do it again because I think about my finances now. Right. But it made me all my friends. Yeah. It opened up the world of ideas. Yeah. But if I was to want to learn art skills, I would definitely go to Atelier Artista. I would do it a different way because most of the skills that I learned, I didn't go to art school for drawing or painting. Yeah. And yet that's what my school's predicated on. Yeah. I went into sculpture and I did it because my tuition told me I'm paying for something. Yeah. And I want space and size. And I got to learn from magicians and wizards like Katie Owie. You know, I thought I'll learn stuff that I don't know. Yeah. And then after art school, I went around. I did 10 Burning Mans. I figured out all the other stuff I needed to figure out. Yeah. And then I started to go to Europe to learn the atelier skills, like the traditional art skills. Because what I see in a contemporary art education is the problem is like, it's all ideas based. Yeah. So if you can't draw a hand, you just scribble the word hand, and that's supposed to fill someone's mind. But for me, I still like magic,
Yeah.
wanted the illusion to be realistic enough that if someone doesn't know about art, they still see a hand.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
they see the thing that they're supposed to see.
Yeah.
Rather than resting your laurels on the poshness of, I'm telling you it's a hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's funny. A friend of mine, a really talented artist as well, and he called me out on some shit. So
Good. That's the job.
And because I used to draw, like I'd draw cartoons all the time.
Yeah.
Grew up drawing cartoons, but every once in a while, actually most of the time, I'd like have a hand behind.
Hidden? Oh yeah. Don't draw. Don't just draw a little circle.
And
yeah.
he was just like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You can't draw hands, can you?" I'm just like,
Yeah. It stands out so much if you can't, man.
So then I attacked
Yeah.
hands. I attacked learning, skeletons and stuff like that. Now I go back and I just smash down fingers and whatever. Like,
But it's your job
Right.
as the artist to get the skill.
yeah,
And you're not going to have them all. But like people are bad at faces, learn to draw a face.
Yeah.
And the hands, it's glaringly obvious. To someone like me who's trained with the eye, I can tell you all of it.
Yeah.
It's not my job to rip you apart. But a lot of people, it's the hands.
Yeah.
And they hide them,
Yeah.
And Preston Blair, animator, Disney era, best at drawing hands. You could learn how to draw Mickey Mouse hands with a circle and a couple sausage fingers. But it's your responsibility to do it,
Yeah.
not the poshness of, well, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
And therefore, in a contemporary world, I can hide that or just write the word.
Yeah.
That's the part that bothers me. Like, if you can't do something, it's just a skill. You said earlier the word talent.
Yeah.
And I would argue to my grave that talent is not it. Talent was it for us when we were 7. All this stuff in your room, all this stuff that's all your interest. That's a lifetime of pursuing it. Talent excuses artists from not getting paid. It's like, oh, well, you're just talented. A musician, oh, play at my wedding for nothing.
right.
I've put in everything. It was talent when I was 7 when my one teacher was like, that looks pretty real. Whatever it was that didn't crush me out of art,
Yeah.
as it did everybody else, that stupidly got me going, everything else was skill.
Yeah.
And anyone can learn a skill. Art is not open to everybody.
That's an awesome point of view. Because I think
That's how I feel.
I think a lot of people, tend to think that they can't do something because they're not talented enough to do
I
it.
hate
But-
that. Yeah.
But you're right. If you spend time doing it, working on it, like a friend of mine, not really a friend, but a guy that I lived next to for a long time, at a very old age, decided he wanted to play guitar. And so he fucking practiced, and you could hear him practice every single day.
Yeah.
He was playing the worst music ever for hours at a
what
time.
yeah.
Until like he got really good, and now he plays like in this great country blues band, and it's blows my mind that what you can do when you just approach something and attack it.
I mean, I was like, maybe he's too old. I don't know what he's picking. But yeah, there's no limitation on it. I mean, if you want to go be a famous artist, like, get the fuck out of Dodge. But yeah, you can learn it like a skill. Like, if you're 50, 60, 70, and it's like, I want to learn to cook, it's not too late. You
Right.
don't have to have a talent. And cooking and art, not that different. Mixing the elements together.
Yeah.
One is making food that tastes good. The other is making mostly a visual, but I wouldn't only say that art's visual.
Yeah.
Huh. I hope I can play guitar at that age.
Yeah. So I'm coming back to a question that I don't think I have the answer for yet. Why you? Like, how did Bunny come to be? Was there a pivotal moment that you decided to throw everything you had into Atelier?
Oh, no, I did. Yeah. I'm a balls deep kind of guy. Oh,
That's fine.
sounds bad. Like, even my own YouTube is not
basketball,
PG.
right? Yeah.
With everything, you have to self-reflect a lot and figure out what it is you want to do. Yeah. And I'm sure I've got haters and stuff out there, but I really believe in what I'm doing. Yeah. And so I had owned the organic tea company for 8 years, and I took all the money that I made from that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, in my first 2 weeks in this space, I dropped $28,000.
Jesus.
So this idea that it's like he lucked into it, dude, I work 15 hours every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get the sense that people think, like they think about talent, like, oh, it just came to you. Oh, you just got this. Nothing ever just came to me. And that's also why I'm not worried about someone stealing it from me. Because, you know, to save money, I painted the walls myself, and it took days and days. The passion that drives you is like a fuel that's never ending. You know, I'm here every day.
Yeah.
But no one can take that away from you. You know, as much as people can hate or judge or say something about it. The master. Okay, so I have a long history of martial arts like yourself. The master is always the first to show up, and he's the one sweeping the floor at the end of the night and last to leave.
Yeah.
That was my only rule with this place, is I would be the master. And so I would be the first here, the last to leave. 15-hour days. Yeah. Nobody would trade me for that, even in the arts. Yeah. But that's the reality of it, and nobody sees it. You know, to be cheerful and supportive, even if stupid or annoying, you know, annoying ideas that people have, I still got to show up. 100%, 110%. And that's how Brian does it, you know? It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. That's the weird bad luck that I made for my life, you know?
That's an interesting statement, weird bad luck that you made for yourself.
So if you want to go back to a thought that I had when you first asked me a question, when I was 7, I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
There were 2 options. And the other was to be a psychiatrist.
At 7?
7 or 8. Yeah, well, we had like career day or whatever.
All right.
But I am doing that in my art. I feel all the interests that I still have are still revolve around the same thing. But when it came to being a psychiatrist or whatever, and my mom said I didn't have the nose for it. And it wasn't until I was 22 years old at Christmas, I think we were drunk, and I said, Mom, I could have been a psychiatrist. This stupid artist crap that I decided to do, because I just graduated art school, didn't know what to do. And I said, and she doesn't remember, but just a little thing that she said, you didn't have the nose for it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that she was making a joke. And then when I brought it up, but it's weird how those things stick. You know, like I get a lot of students who always want to be artists, and they go and they had these careers. Over 50% of my students are retired now. Yeah. And by the way, the most fun people. They have the most interesting stories, and everyone has an art they talk about. So at my school, I don't care about ideas. I care about the practicality, because everyone's got good ideas. Yeah. And I don't need to be in charge of that. ACAD teaches people to get ideas, because you got a bunch of 19-year-olds from suburbia, from like very good living conditions. It's strife that makes ideas. Yeah. But then I don't tell people what to paint, because they know what they want to do. Yeah. And so I don't worry about that at my space. Huh. But same sort of thing, man. Like people have it within them, and everything they bring. You know, I'm a little Filipino mom who's a nurse, and I like this thing. They're very specific on what they want to learn. And so that's what I've tried to provide. It's like, you want to learn how to draw a dog really well? Let's do that.
Fun.
You know?
Huh. What are the 5 things people need to know?
Okay.
And not about art, just life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to do the art ones first.
Well, you can do whatever. I'll leave it to you to decide. But what are the 5 things that people need to know?
5 things for art is because we're working on mostly a 2-dimensional surface. So you need shape and size, which is your length times height. Yeah. And that's your proportion. Yeah. So, you know, we say shape first. So if you can draw like a circle, you know that it's a round thing. Yeah. Whether or not it's 3D and you have all the illusions. The next thing would be value, one of the most valuable things. And that is whether something light or dark. And it takes months and months to actually learn that. And that comes from the realist academies, the bar drawings, stuff like that. Then edges. Is something hard? Is something soft? Is something firm? Like I can sum up the whole thing in 4 points, actually. You don't need 5. But, you know, the fundamentals of anything good, even your guy who's playing guitar, will always come down to core. So to me, edges, and then we have color. Color is a very complicated thing. The whole thing, I think, is story. Like, why are you doing that? You know, that's the big overarching thing. Like, and I'm a literal artist, so I need a story. I need all the things to be explained. Very literal. Yeah. If you know yourself, you're going to do a lot better off. I don't think a lot of people soul search. And then I say, well, here's these 5 things. Guess what? Lifetime to master. Good luck with that. You know, same as the guitar thing. Yeah. You got to just get your fundamentals down and keep working them. To be good at what I do, and that's not predicated on saying that I am. You have to work your fundamentals in life. Fundamentally know yourself.
Yeah.
Wake up early. Write it. You know, I've been writing a diary since 1996.
Wow.
If people saw the insanity that was my life, I have like a habit tracker. They wouldn't want to do it. Yeah. And they'd be like, you know what? Screw this level of intensity. But we have these self-help gurus. We have all this stuff out there. You got to pick those things. Got to pick what you love. But I'll tell you, most of the time, most of life, it's not fun, but it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody.
Right.
You know, but I find that you just got to be a little bit every day. You know, you want to get good at banjo? Just strum a chord 10 minutes every day rather than 2.5 hours on Sunday.
Right.
One will make your fingers stronger. Yeah. The other will make your fingers bleed. Yeah. You know, and we are people who want get rich quick. We want immediate gratification. And I think life is a long con. Blessed be as long as it can be. Hopefully, you get a long one. Yeah. But nothing worth doing is easy. Right. Nothing worth doing is easy. Art's one of those things that everyone, I think they think it's going to be easy. And lots of people give up on it. And I'm glad because I need someone to serve me coffee too. I don't think making coffee is that easy. Mine is cold.
That's true.
But yeah, there's a place for everybody. But if it were easy, it's not worth doing. What's the fulfillment in that?
Yeah, and that sort of takes me to this part of the show where, and you've said a lot already, but I wonder if this is a great opportunity to summarize that there's people out there in the world that are serving coffee, hoping to, you know, take their next step, or, you know, I call them rebels in waiting. So these are the people that are trying to figure stuff out. What big piece of advice would you give them to like launch?
Yeah, see, I don't think I've launched yet. I've just noticed it is baby steps. It is like, so even when I went to live in LA, it was like everyone did work at a coffee shop. Yeah. I got it. Okay, that just that rang my bell. Okay. It's the backdoor method. It sounds dirty, but okay. People can blurt out what they want. So some people, they're like, I'm going to network. I'm going to just shove it in people's faces. But what I found is your authenticity with the blurting, being honest, is I can't explain it. I still do it to this day. I don't know when is the right moment. But if you ask the universe for the thing that you want, like the right things just happen. It's very strange. Yeah. Either, okay, you want to launch. I think don't give up everything. Always have your feet in the pool too. Okay. You know, I didn't say I'm going to start this art business, so I'm going to give up everything. I always had the security. And I think, you know, with this, I'm going to launch a company or whatever, this whole idea that you just give up on everything and that will make you more focused on it. Will make you die. But if you have a little bit here, you know, you do a little wedding photography on the side, you need balance and you need a little bit of security. Yeah. And then you wait till the thing takes over. So, you know, I was still teaching at AU Arts. I didn't know 2 years ago that I would be so busy that I would have to give up other jobs. Wow. So you got to build the place that you want first. Yeah. You know, rather than think, I'm just going to screw everything and this will work out. I don't think that's a good idea. Huh. You don't feel right as a person. It's like fake it till you make it rather than make it and then get rid of the shit you don't like. You know, now, like, I'm too busy. I get to choose how I say no. Yeah. And that's the self-reflection and growth that I get to do. That's exciting, that I have to say no. Right. You know, 2 years ago, I didn't even know how to say no.
Right. That's a tough thing to learn. Yeah. I'm still learning it. I'm terrible at it.
We're always learning it, and I think there's huge power in learning where you are now, like what part of your soul you'll give away or not. Right. Yeah. You know, this COVID thing, and we're closed at cSPACE, and I could do private and stuff, but I call it artist residency because I have to say no. Yeah. And I'm fine with it. Oh. You know? Like, I get to work on me and my stuff for once.
Great. What's your favorite thing about cSPACE?
Oh, man. See, I mean, it's amazing that this magical building's here. Yeah. And as you know, I'm kind of like Mayor McCheese of this place. I really believe in an idea that no one can define. It's the same thing with, you know, ACAD is not a school, and there's no like one head of that monster. It's an idea that all of us, whoever went there, AU Arts, agree upon. Yeah. It's this idea for higher art. and it supersedes, and that's why teachers still work and believe, even though it's a crazy monster and there's lots of people involved, it's very big. Yeah. And it's in that shipbuilding. But even if that building was razed to the ground, the idea's still there.
Yeah.
cSPACE has the idea for creative community, and when they first build it, and they're going to build more.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, Calgary needed a place for artist studios.
Yeah.
But that's not this place. You know, cSPACE is not a bunch of little nooks and crannies for artists to be. There's other places for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if cSPACE knew what it was going to be, but this idea within this city to slap some solar panels on, like, it's a keystone idea.
Yeah.
Take this old building, because Calgary wrecks everything, man. I think cSPACE, the idea is still strong.
Yeah.
And we're all still very young in it.
Yeah.
When I moved in, because I was one of the first tenants,
yeah.
They put a time capsule on the basement floor where the boilers are.
Yeah, okay.
There's a time capsule in there.
Yeah.
So I wrote a little card. I know I'm going to be dead when they open it.
Yeah.
So I did a last laugh. I was like, hey, Bunny, you know, I was part of the history here. Last laugh. And I did a pink glitter bomb. And what's so funny is the person who put it in, they're like, Bunny, you wouldn't believe this. I was putting in the time capsule and I got pink glitter all over myself. And I'm just like,
oh my God.
Just laughing to myself, you know. Who knows what that legacy? We don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, you know, cSPACE isn't going to go down with the ship.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Yeah.
Even if it's just an idea. And the lineup is huge for people to get in here.
I know.
Good luck.
Yeah, it was tough. Like, I feel very fortunate to have gotten in.
Yeah.
But
no one's leaving.
No, that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
once you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so many great people and places inside of here. You know, I've come in sort of at the beginning of COVID. Like, I moved in, I think, February, and then had this just as an artist space.
Yeah.
Went to Maui, came back, and the world was upside down.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just can't wait for that community to come back, but in its proper time, right?
Yeah, I think what I miss most is the people in the hallways. Like, even just like lollygaggers kicking their shoes, because it is a weird space, and like people just kind of open a door like they own this place. Yeah. Like, they'll just open a door and look in there, and that's fine. Like, I try to leave my door open if it's not too distracting for my students, but I feel like it should be a place, because we have everything here. We have opera, we have dance, we have like the fabric designers. Like, it's pretty wild. So I graduated with a couple people in this building I went to school with, and to me this place feels like art school. Like, I want to go to the jewelry department, I run down to Shona's studio, you know.
Fun.
Like, and now we got the restaurant down there. I'll never leave this place.
Right. And Taco Tuesdays?
And Fridays too.
Or that's what I mean, Taco Fridays.
She's too good to cook. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is so
I'm not
delicious.
rich.
Taco Fridays.
And they opened up right as COVID came on. And I know it's a struggle for them. They would really be at an advantage to be able to be open.
Yeah.
But this community can handle it. But we're like 2 blocks in and 2 blocks over.
Yeah.
So it's still a secret. Like, even when you get like skip the dishes delivered here,
you're
like, it's the big old school, you can't miss it. But a lot of people in the neighborhood, after 2 or 3 years of being here, we'd have an open house, they'd be like, I didn't know this was here. And it's like, what, you know, like, how much we gotta shoot explosives in the air and get everyone here. I think cSPACE is still in its infancy, you know. We haven't got the draw yet, but they took the science center, they made an art thing there. Like,
I haven't been there since it
me
stopped
neither,
being
but
a science center.
But the city can handle it.
Yeah.
You know, we got this beautiful library. I mean, I don't think we're going to go the way of Detroit. Might deserve it. The way that people are working at home now, we're going to have a lot of empty spaces.
Yeah.
We just have to rejig it.
Yeah.
As long as, you know, I can keep bleeding my blood to pay for this place, I'll keep it, you know?
That's awesome.
There's the north-facing windows was my sales point. So
it's so lovely. So when I guess the invitation is that when we're back open to come down here and, you know, visit us up on the lofty fourth floor.
Yeah, the fourth floor. You know, it's funny because growing up and when I graduated school, like, my friends' moms were nurses and stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, the fourth floor, I think there's even a TV show, The Fourth Floor, always meant the crazies. The fourth floor is where the psych ward was, where I was growing up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get gowns.
Yeah, totally. And
on the fourth floor.
Little wrappy jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to my graduation. My best friend, because I couldn't get a girl date, we got a wheelchair. I wore the cross. I can escape the psych ward jacket now because I had a background in magic, and he wheeled me around. It was Nirvana at the time. Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah. The fourth floor.
What a character. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for,
so good.
hanging out and
it's nice in here, man.
telling your story. Yeah, thanks.
I'll come back and do stories every week.
Yeah, right on. Play
I
some
won't run
music
out.
and we'll just draw some shit and I don't know, make art.
Yeah.
That's the key. Thanks, Bunny. Any last
bet.
words?
Oh, geez, no. That's a weird way. I love you, Mom.
Don't miss an episode and subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. We've got even more amazing people from cSPACE coming by to share their stories, as well as guests from around the world on the Rebel podcast. I'm your host, Michael Dargy. Thanks for listening.